perpetuitous income, so we have that opportunity. And then there's those that are borrowers, fix and flip, investing, refinance. We also do loans from $50,000 up to $2 million. We're currently doing about 50 to 60 a month. We can get you funded 48 hours, 7 days, or within a 7-day approval. And we're excited to be here today. There's more information. Make sure you grab some more money. Our website is morefinancial.com, and we're also the official media sponsors here today as well, More Synergy. We hosted an event 2 weeks ago with Realty 411. We had about 250 realtors, professionals, and investors at the event. Our next event is coming up August 8th. David Coe from For Investors by Investors is on our panel. Linda Pliagas from Realty 411. And we're going to have an awesome all-star panel. So that's coming up August 8th. So whatever you're doing, cancel it. August 8th, More Synergy 2. Look out for it. Morefinancial.com. Make sure to stop by, get some information. And we're excited to be here today. I just want to thank Linda for giving us the opportunity to sponsor this event, to be here at this wonderful, amazing 3rd annual Success Real Estate Expo.
All right. Eric?
Thank you so much, Linda.
What was your last name again, Eric?
Eric Gooden.
Eric Gooden.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be in touch. All right. Come back to and speak to our group. Not a problem. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. So we have got. Let's see. Scott Carson. Let me just tell you a little bit about Scott before we bring him up here. Scott Carson is the president and founder of Inverse Investments LCC. LLC, I should know, I've got one. Dyslexia, too. Scott has been in mortgage and finance and banking industry since 2001 and an active real estate investor since 2002. He has been actively buying notes on residential and commercial properties since 2005. So I want to welcome you. Thank you very much, Scott.
Afternoon, everybody. Let's do me a favor real fast. Let me get a name up here because we're going to do something special way for everybody that's in the room. How's that sound?
Okay, yes.
All right. Stacy, you've already got it. Sorry, darling. Okay. All right, so if you got a card, raise your hand real fast. Collect the cards. Would you do it for me,
Sure,
Linda?
absolutely.
All right, if you don't have a card, write it down on a piece of paper because you get a special treat. If that's okay.
Oh, yes, that's okay. Yes,
all right,
yes.
sir. Okay. Anyway, guys, Scott Carson, thank you for having me, and thank you for being here on time for me, guys. They call me the note guy. It's kind of a funny thing. If you
They call you Big Daddy.
Big Daddy or Big Deal Daddy, as people call me sometimes, is we do a ton of deals. And is it hard for you guys to find deals depending on what kind of deals you're working on out there?
Oh, yeah.
A couple, yes?
Yeah.
Somebody's listening. I talk a little bit differently, everybody, so I'm going to ask you questions. If you guys have questions, please feel free to raise your hand, all right? Who's familiar with the idea of buying mortgages out here? 3 or 4 people? Okay, great. There's always been some preconceived ideas about buying, especially those things have changed the last 5 years. How many of you guys used to think you at least have 5 to 10 million to be buying notes? 1 or 2, 3 people there? Okay, great, yeah. You could buy notes for as little, actually, I bought a note on the property in Detroit for $500 and flipped it for rehab for the copper for $1,500.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, so I'll show you some tricks and tools that I use and actually how you make money tapping this market no matter where you live. Okay, Santa Barbara's a great market, but is it harder to find good deals here?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's hard to make a living as an investor if you're just focused here. Okay, so I'll show you guys how to tap into markets across the country. So before I get started though, I always like to do kind of a Myers-Briggs test of the people that are in the room to kind of see how my presentation goes. All right, I almost always tell this. So you guys see 4 shapes up there: a circle, a square, a triangle, and a star. All right, everybody see this? One of those shapes is calling to you. It just happens to call to you. All right. Circles. Everybody circle calling to you? Okay. You guys are probably engineer mindsets. You got to know everything, the whole inside, outside, what colors, upside down, everything of a deal to take action. Is that right? No? Okay, that's all right. Squares? We got squares? All right. You guys need to know, basically, to learn something, implement something, you know the high points, the middle points, and the low points. You don't need to know everything, but a few of each. Is that about right? Lauren's agreeing with me here? All right? Yes? Triangles. Okay? like our management, needed on the top like few points to get running. Okay? I guess that means the rest of you guys are all stars. Raise your hands, right? Stars? Not everybody's raising their hands. You guys are addicted to drugs, sex, and alcohol. All right? So obviously, after we finish here, we'll adjourn down to the bar. Yeah. All right? Let's have some fun here. Anyway, about me, like I said, I've been in banking since 2001 in some form or fashion. Whether I own my own mortgage company or work for a small company called JP Morgan Chase. Have you heard of them? Okay, yes, down in Austin, Texas, where it's home. I always put up here 6 figures of $2.13 an hour. I graduated from a university called Southwest Texas State University, which is just basically smack dab between Austin and San Antonio. All right? Good, fun university. I graduated with a business degree there. The girls outnumber the guys 3-to-1.
That's good.
All right? Met my college sweetheart there, married her. I got a job right off the bat working for a small company called Smith Barney as a financial advisor, you know? And I was really good at my job. I was good on the phones, I was good at making connections, investing people's money, while I was making 6 figures right out of college. Wife is a private school teacher with a master's degree and a board-certified behavior analyst, working with autistic children. Okay? Very advanced degree, making a big bunch of money at 30 grand a year. It's unfortunate. Okay? So we're going to do like most kids. Get out of college, start buying toys when you make money, right? New car, big screen TV. Realtor came to us, a friend of ours, said, hey, have you thought about buying a house? Now's a great time to buy a house. We're like, yeah, let's do that. All right? So, end of 2001, we buy our first home. And I grew up in a little small town down on the coast of Texas called Ingleside. All right? It's got one stoplight. If I got in trouble there, my dad and mom knew about it before I did. Okay? Because my dad owned a local hardware store. All right? So I was really good at fixing things, and the realtor, after we closed on our first house, which was great, we loved it, he's like, have you thought about being an investor, a real estate investor? I was like, yes, actually. I can do everything with my own hands. And I've watched HGTV and flip this house, so I know everything there is about real estate, right? Yep. No. All right. So we did the wrong thing. We bought 2 more properties, full retail price. The idea of being renters and landlords. Oh, we're going to have cash flow. We live in a great market there. And we moved to Austin. A little small computer company called Dell Computers is there. All right. Well, we closed on our second, or technically our second investment property, and a month later I'm going to the office as we're getting ready to get renters in this thing. And there's a chain on the door and an arrow pointing to a conference room off the sides. They closed the office there in Austin. All right. Have we saved a lot of money? Not really. Okay. About a couple weeks later, Dell completely shifted their operations to Memphis and started laying a ton of people off. So I always make the running joke, if you want to learn about foreclosures, just quit making your mortgage payment. There's nothing more stressful than trying to make 6 mortgage payments, 3 first, 3 seconds on a private school teacher's salary. Now, a lot of bad things have happened out there back then. They've also, we still see a lot of that out there. Would we agree to that? A lot of good people have had financial hiccups. I was the same. Luckily, we were able to, I was doing anything I could, waiting tables at $2.13 an hour, plus tips. And you never know how far you've hit rock bottom, like Andrew talked about with his divorce and wife, until your high school sweetheart walks in and sits in your section. It's like, hey, how's it going? You must be doing really well. Yes, would you like some fries with that or roasted corn for your enchiladas? Okay, there's nothing more humbling than that. And having friends come in. So luckily, I got my assets out of a sling, did whatever I could for a while, delivering packages Christmas Eve for FedEx on delivery, a buck delivery, just trying to stay afloat. All right. I mean, I've been to the point where you're basically, picking up your couch, shaking the change out to put gas in your car to drive to work, hoping that the check, you've got enough in there to make it to the bank to cash your check later that day. Not a fun time. Anyway, luckily I got out of that, got back in the bank with JP Morgan Chase, opened up 12 branches throughout Central Texas while I was also learning the proper way to invest. Started going to investment clubs. Got lucky by hooking up a couple investors that traveled the circuit out there. Anybody familiar with Ron LeGrand?
Yes.
In the back, we started a mortgage company with him and was doing a lot of investments and been buying notes since. And that was back in 2005. But these days, we've got President First Investments. Another company I'm part owner in is Nationwide Note Exchange, which is an online listing for non-performing notes you can cherry pick. Investors Business Daily calls me the Love Connection. I love the paper, Chuck Woolery. Okay. Been featured and endorsed by Sharon Lechter, Les Brown, Gene Landrum. Anybody know who Gene Landrum is? Anybody have kids? Where does your kids love to go for pizza? Chuck E. Cheese, right? Yep. He's the creator of the Big Rat. Okay. Greg Reed is the author of Think and Grow Rich, 3 Feet from Gold, or Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. Greg's a buddy. Jack Stern was noteworthy, and then been featured in a bunch of other different periodicals out there: Boston Globe, Texas Real Estate Association, National Association of Realtors, Business Journal, Money Watch, Investors Business Daily, and I'm also co-author of The Rise. But well, let's go to the nuts and bolts. Why you guys are sitting here, spending your beautiful Saturday afternoon here, learning about stuff. Okay? Because it is a gorgeous day out there, isn't it? And I'd like to be on the beach. Maybe we should move to the beach on Margaritas. But I'll talk with you guys over the next hour how to take advantage of the largest real estate market boom that's going to last the next 3 to 5 years, and maybe beyond that. Who knows? I wish I had a crystal ball. I don't. But I'll show you how to take advantage of that. I'll show you how to make money on both residential and commercial junk notes. Now, when I mean by junk, doesn't mean ugly properties. Okay? Yes, do you see some ugly properties when you buy mortgages from banks? Yes, you do. But we'll talk about why banks consider a lot of these assets, the over 15 million plus homes that are upside down, as junk. All right? Anybody interested in that? Okay? We'll talk to you about why banks and hedge funds want these gone. We're just getting late for sometimes pennies to nickels on the dollar. And then we'll show you guys how to create win-win-win situations. Not only for yourself, but also for the borrowers and the banks. Is that all right? Yes. All right, good. Okay. So what I want you guys to do right now, close your eyes, please. This is something important. If you don't, I'm going to pull out my thing here and embarrass you. We're from Texas, okay, come on, I did have the gun there. You know, we do everything fast in Texas. Fast foreclosures, fast evictions, fast highways, and fast executions. Okay? Anyway, so close your eyes here now when you think about the situation. Sitting here as an investor. What would you do if this situation that I'm about to describe to you happened to you? All right? Everybody's closing their eyes. Nice. You're in the greatest real estate market in history. That's the first thing. Okay? If you're in the greatest real estate market in history, and all your competition, all your big competition, stop buying. Would that be beneficial to you? You can say yes, keep your eyes closed. All right? Let's say that actually the banks that were in trouble started calling you or published the list of deals that they need to get rid of. And told you what they wanted for them. That'd be good. Yeah. You could buy at 10 to 50% of value. Anybody excited about that? Okay. The government also, in the areas that were hit a little bit hardest with the rougher properties, would actually give you money to buy them. Are you liking that? Okay. Let's talk about $7 trillion in private money out there as well for you to borrow. Yes? Are you liking that? And the biggest question is, if you had all those factors, would you take action?
Yes.
One of the things I love about Tim here, Tim's a buddy of mine. We get along real well. We're kind of straight to the point. If you're wanting, somebody holds you to kid gloves, we don't work that way. We're pretty much straight to the point. Okay? You guys are in that current market right now. There's so much real estate out there, you just have to open your eyes and really probably move your eyes outside of your backyard. Now, California, you guys are crazy out here. It's a little bit different market. How many people are having trouble finding really good deals here locally? It's tough, right? And you got appreciation going up and everybody and their dog trying to buy and buy everything. You list something, you got 30 offers above listing price. Like, dang, how can I make any money doing this? Unless, of course, you're selling property. You have to start thinking nationwide. In today's age, your market is the United States. All right? Especially with all the social media, all the professionals out there, all some of the websites they'll give you, you can be investing all across the country and making double-digit returns on your money. All right? If not greater. All right? All right. Let's talk about some of the stuff that's going on in the news right now. Homeownership decline that faces all about the Great Depression. U.S. Census Bureau says it's the steepest drop from 1930 to 1940. Foreclosures have forced more than 3 million homeowners out of their homes. Isn't that awesome? Not really. $7+ trillion in home equity has been wiped out since 2005. All right? Have we had a little fluctuations in some markets out there? Yeah. Big ones. Here, we've had some fluctuation, obviously, in California. Florida. Well, let's talk about it across the other coast. Let's talk about God's waiting room. Nobody like that joke? Okay. They had like 67% depreciation. All right? But values are coming back out there.
How much was the depreciation?
It's sometimes 2/3 depreciation. I can share you some stories out there. Is the wave over, though, what we've seen right now? Well, not really. 385 banks went out of business from 2005 to 2011. Okay? If you want to go to an interesting website to read about that, go to mortgageimplode.com. Just search for that, mortgageimplode.com. All right? Now, there's a company called Invictus out there. What that Invictus does, it evaluates banks for how strong they are. How much money they have, or what's your strength when you run a business. Well, they predict another 785 banks will fold. Twice the amount of banks will fold. Still. Commercial banks will be hit the hardest. You have a lot of these banks have been pretending and extending these commercial loans they haven't got a payment on in 3 years. All right? When you have the federal government, like the Justice Department, actually stepping in to banks and say, hey, you've got $400 million in assets that are upside down, you've got to do something with it. You've got to move them. Okay? Makes for an opportunity for us as investors. Okay? Actually, HUD. Anybody been a HUD foreclosure buyer here? Okay? HUD actually is expecting to sell over 40,000 loans this year. In September of 2012, they literally came out and stated, well, we plan on selling about 5 times the amount of loans as actual real estate because we just don't have the options that you as investors do. All right? We don't have the resources to handle this stuff. We've got to move it. Otherwise, we're going out of business. When you look at last year, when all the Fannies, Freddies, and Ginnies all stopped buying literally mortgages, that says something. Okay? Those that bought our mortgages during the whole debacle, like China, they're in a bit of a recession. Greece, we put them in one heck of a greasy mess. That was good. I just pulled that out of my record. I gotta remember that one. That was a good one. We put the world in a domino effect of downward spiral. You know, I have an investor buddy of mine who's on Australia who buys mortgages here locally. He's like, Scott, I'm coming over here to learn how you guys are doing it because in 5 years, Australia's going to be in the same mess. All right? You have a huge opportunity. You just have to look at what's going on in the market right now. Now, I see this stuff, started seeing this stuff back in 2005 when things were going out of business. And I'll give you an idea of my background on investment stuff. I used to own a short sale negotiation company. Anybody done short sales? Boy, you're a brave soul, right? Has that been fun?
No.
No, not at all. All right? It was wholesaling. I was buying a lot of short sales or doing double closings where I put properties under options and negotiate stuff down, or negotiate the short sale down and then flip it to another investor. Or take it down and buy to resell to a retail buyer. And the market's changed out there. I mean, we were basically buying close to 2 homes every week in Austin and surrounding Central Texas. And there's nothing scarier than your title rep calling you. Say, Scott, we love your business. You're our #1 client. But unfortunately, we are no longer be able to do your transactions. We'll no longer be able to do your A to B to B to C closings. Like, wow. So you can't have the money from the guy. Nope, you can't do that now. So I had to go out and get private money or hard money. What's that entail? Points, higher interest rates, profits being from here down to here instantly, right? And then when you start carrying that stuff doesn't sell, it goes down very small, right? You got to change. The market's constantly changing. So that's when I saw the market changing with that, because I had to do something, otherwise I'd be out of business, and realized nuts is where it's at. Anybody been around in the middle in the 80s? Quite a few of you are. You don't have to raise your hands. Then we have a little similar thing called the savings and loan crisis. Well, that's what this is. This is the same opportunity that happened back then. The only benefit is we've got money out there. We actually have lower interest rates than they ever had back then. Okay? So you're talking once in a generation, once every 50 years, this is going to happen. And this is, you're right smack dab in the middle of it. Now, if you guys get the magazine here, you'll see there's a piece on me in there. So basically you guys recognize me. I make a big, strong statement in there that says if you're not doing or investing in notes right now, you'll be kicking yourself in 6 to 12 months. Because when you're investing in notes, you beat all the other stuff out there. You get deals before they turn to short sales, before they turn to REOs. All right? Anybody tried to wholesale an REO listing lately? Can't, basically, right? You can wholesale notes all day long. It's a beautiful thing becoming technically the bank. And that's what, so you're like, well, Scott, we talk about by assets. Is that the real estate? No, we're talking about the mortgage. So I want you to think as a banker right now. All right? Think of the rights the bank has. Okay? And you'll see why they're making all the money still. that make sense? Yes, no? I know you're over here saying yes, right? There you go. Anyway, we already talked about the HUD plans and so on loans out there. It's crazy out there. So I always make the joke up here, is this your next deal? Are you buying houses that are upside down? Are you fighting other investors to get that deal? Anybody walked into a house with somebody behind their payments and see their mail? Like stacks of postcards? All right, how many here are doing like yellow letters or sending out postcards every week? That costs a little bit of money, right? Anybody want to share what they're spending weekly? At the height of what we were doing, we were sending out basically $500 to $1,000 per week in postcards and postage. So that gets expensive, right?
Yeah.
Then what's your response rate? 4%, 5%? A lot of money you got to put out for marketing, a lot of fees, and as new investors, do we often have a lot of cash to invest when we get started? No, right? Especially if you're doing it part-time or you're trying to make money and working 40, 50 hours a week, don't have a lot of time or resources. So I just make this joke, is that your next deal? Sorry, I got ahead of myself here. All the different investing trends out there, like Andrew mentioned a little bit, asking about lease options. Who was the person who was looking about lease options there? We have legislation that happens overnight sometimes that affects your business. If you were in Boston or Massachusetts back about 3 years ago, the Attorney General canceled everybody's loan officer's license overnight. Have you guys had problems here where the state suspended foreclosures for 90 days as well? Yeah. It's difficult some things. So I'm going to talk about kind of right now basically the old way of investing out there. Probably some of you guys are doing out there. The old way of investing was to literally find the homeowners that were in trouble. Okay? And doing yellow letters, bandit signs, postcards, door knocking. Anybody door knock? Some of you have? I stopped door knocking when I was in Salt Lake City working with an investor, door knocking, and an 85-year-old woman pulled a double-barrel shotgun on me. She's like, "You ain't gonna take my house." And there's nothing scarier than hearing that click of the gun. Seriously, okay, I've done door knocking. Can you make money on that? Yes, you can. All right. It's getting people that are in trouble to call you back is a hard time. And when they do, when they answer your piece, when do they call you? When it's too late. The day of the auction, a week before the auction. It's hard to get anything done. Try to get the bank to move quickly the week of the auction, right? So that's always the hardest thing. Then you're dealing, obviously, too, then with the homeowner drama. Okay? It's like a country western song. Lost my job, lost my wife, lost my dog. Okay? Grandma got run over by a reindeer. All right? So I need to write Andrew a country western song for his birthday. My wife took my properties and my money. Anyway. Second step, obviously, the old way of investing is once these homeowners actually call you back, is then working them. Getting them to actually get you stuff in a timely fashion, and then getting that stuff to the bank. And hoping the bank will stop, right? You gotta fax in copies of the loan file, or basically all the W-2s, pay stubs, hardship letters, write the bank the loan number on every file, and fax it in 12 times, and then say, yes, I got it. Trying to get a loss mitigator to call you back when their voicemail is full is almost impossible, right? I think those poor people did something wrong in a previous lifetime. Okay? At one point, we were actually negotiating short sales for everybody in the loss mitigation department of Everhome Bank. It's a true story. We were buying a short sale from Everhome Bank, it's a bank out of Florida. Got the head loss mitigator on the phone. She's like, "Well, if you do this, can you help me on my condo in Tampa with Wells Fargo?" And I got 8 other people here that need help too. All right, I'll tell you a funny story. A gentleman, well, not really a funny story, sorry. I'm not going to kick a dog when somebody's down. A gentleman came to my class, he was a loan officer for Wells Fargo. All right? And he was literally driving home Sunday afternoon from taking my class and got hit by a semi. Seriously. So he was injured, he survived, okay, went to the hospital for basically the hospital and rehab 6 months. Went back to work, couldn't make his mortgage payments obviously because he was commission-based, and his boss foreclosed on his house. Boy, thanks. There's an incentive to work hard. All right? It's crazy out there. Okay. Anyway, back to my point here. You and I all have something in common. We both don't know what's coming out of my mouth the next 5 minutes, all right? All right? Trying to get the bank to negotiate or stop the foreclosure sale or help you out is a hard thing to do as well. Those people just aren't paid to really incentivize anyone to make things happen when they've got 100 to 200 files on this. All right? That third step, though, is if the banks would actually delay stuff for you, is then for you to go out and find a buyer that will buy the property either as it is, you know, trying to get conventional financing, that's a hard thing right now, okay? Or owner finance it, do a wraparound lease option, they've got money not only in their pocket to pay you, but pay the rearages, and hopefully you make some money. Now that's a hard thing, okay? Unless you got cash out there, it's hard, all right? Well, let's talk about the new way of investing, the smart way of investing, I think. It's not to go after the homeowners and deal with the drama unless you just want to run a full Jerry Springer episode of your business. Find the banks with bad paper. Use the same resources that you're using for all these mail pieces to find banks with ugly paper. The foreclosure lists. Red Lock is a good one. County Records Research in Southern California. All right? Foreclosures.com. Find the banks that actually have the stuff that they're foreclosing on. The next step is not to mail out to the homeowners and mail letters out and hope that they answer in sometime in the next 3 or 4 months, but to start calling the bank's secondary marketing department. Now, if you don't get anything out of me today, write this down. In banking, you basically have 2 separate departments. You have loss mitigation out there, which is handling the collections. All right? They're the company that's calling you when you're late a day. All right? Second of the month, they start calling, hey, where's the mortgage payment? Where's the mortgage payment? They're also the ones handling the short sales, the loan mods. All right? Secondary marketing is an inner department of the bank, which is probably usually in a different state, different building. Okay? And these are the guys that are looking at the actual loan portfolio of the bank and saying, oh my God, we have $1 million in bad loans, we've got to move. Right? They're the ones that do different pricing, lending, all that stuff. These are the guys that actually have marbles in their head. Okay? It's their job to keep the bank alive. All right? And they're basically the department's called secondary marketing. Also, it goes by special assets department. You want to write that down. Chief credit risk, credit desk. All right, they're a separate department. They're there to move portfolios. Okay, to keep the bank profitable. Okay, so you call these. Now you never call them and say I buy notes and REOs, because what's going to happen? They're going to send you the REO agent with a listing. Okay. You want to focus on, I buy non-performing notes. I buy mortgages for my own portfolio. Okay? And then what's going to happen is they're going to get on the phone with it, and they're probably going to send them a non-disclosure agreement and tell you, yes, we have something, or no, we don't have something, call back. All right? Now, what you do not do, you don't go down to your local branch and ask the teller there, hey, can I speak to about buying your non-performing notes? You're like, what's that? When I was a banker at Chase, I didn't even know what this existed. Somebody came and asked me, and I was like, no, we don't sell our notes. Every bank does, it just depends on how big they sell it. All right? So you get a list of what's called a tape. It's just a spreadsheet that they send you with literally the list of notes they want to move, residential, commercial. Oftentimes, too, they'll give you pricing expectations. We'll take 40 cents on the dollar, 70 cents on the dollar. Please make us an offer. All right? And then the next 3 is you have all these exit strategies. You can either buy the loan for your own portfolio, modify it, sell it to another investor if you want to, flip it, leave a hold the note and start making cash flow on it, or negotiating, doing a short sale, all sorts of different exit strategies. Okay? Foreclose, keep it as an REO, sell retail, keep it as a rental, whatever you want to do. A lot of opportunity out here. I spent this last week in Baton Rouge, Louisiana with 3 investors. We got a total of 1,500 assets to cherry pick. Okay? 1,500 assets to cherry pick, anywhere from 10 grand condo down in South Carolina all the way up to a $500,000 property. Where was that one? That was in Dallas. We had another one, a couple in California. California's a little bit exception. The banks want to sell your stuff here at 95 cents on the dollar. I just don't pay that. Okay? All right? So no headache investor, no postcard letters, very little competition, no dramatic homeowners. Let's go back here. Very little competition. How many have heard the commercial, what's in your wallet?
Yeah.
I mean, what bank is that? Capital One, right? Okay. Anybody want to take a gander at how many investors they have all across the country that are on their buyers list? Someone want to throw a number out there?
12.
12? A little low. Something else?
1,200.
1,200. Way too high.
300.
Close. They're getting warm. 448 in all 50 states. Okay? I'll share a little bit what they have on their list and stuff like that. Okay? You're not dealing with the drama of the homeowners. You hire people to do that. You're very little paperwork. You're not dealing with overwhelmed loss mitigators that can't make decisions. You get yes, no answers in days most of the time. Sometimes hours, sometimes minutes. Okay? Not weeks or months. You're usually closing in 30 days or less, usually about 2 weeks. or less, depending on it. And you use private money for this. You don't use any money out of your own pocket. Actually, put a loan under contract or a note under contract. You often do that without any type of earnest money as well. Have you ever struggled to get started and not even have money to put under contract for earnest money to borrow that? We all have, right? These, we're tying up contracts of millions of dollars of paper and close on and put money out of our pocket because there's investors out there dying to invest. Okay? Are banks letting notes go? Yes and no. I'm going to make my big disclaimer here. Don't bother with the big evil five. All right? Bank of Un-America. Chase. City Steel. GMAC or Wells Fargo. You could also throw IndyMac in there as well, or One West. As I joke down, Michael Dell's bank. All right? You're not going to buy from those guys on a smaller basis. What they think is a small purchase would be $50 million. Okay? Wells Fargo will sell something around a $10 million pool size, but you're not going to buy from those. The beautiful thing is, guys, there's basically like 27,000 lending institutions out there. Yes, they hold a lot of the assets between these five, yes, but there's still plenty of stuff out there. Plenty of low-hanging fruit that you don't have to waste with these guys. So, who do you not buy from? Evil five, that's right. Okay. Now, I always like to talk about buying from hedge funds. Will often buy hedge funds that will buy big pools from like GMAC for $50 or $80 million, and then they'll sell stuff off at smaller pools and one-offs. You also can buy from a lot of times some of the larger banks will have commercial loans they'll sell on a one-off basis. All right. You also deal with smaller mortgage banks and regional-sized banks. I mean, Capital One's a big bank, right? But they still sell stuff off. So. And then let stuff go, whatever you like. Single-family homes, condos, townhomes, apartments, self-storage, you like commercial deals. Yeah? Okay. Apartments, all sorts of stuff, whatever you like. So, yeah, smaller regional banks. Let me give you an example here. Here's some of the banks that we bought from in the last year. Capital One, Compass, Bayview, Union Bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of Popular Regions. I could go on and on and on and on. GMAC, Ally. Actually in the process of putting the quote on 50,000 assets with Ally Bank. 50,000. And that's the first of like 6 tranches, they call them, or pools that they're looking to move. A little bit of opportunity? Yes, just a little bit. Okay? So what's a tape look like? Well, this is what a tape looks like. This is a sample tape. So keep this in mind. This literally came from Oceans Bank. This is a bank down in South Florida in Miami. It's Miami's largest private bank. I was down there visiting with the asset manager 3 years ago. Came in, and he sends me this list. He hands me this spreadsheet, like literally passes it over to me. It's 38 pages long. It says just buy something. Please. $380 million in non-performing debts. They're like, we've taken a hit. We'll sell everything on here. We'll say anything on here for 70% of current market value. All right? This is I thought it was a little pricey. But you're looking at me like, huh? And so this was at the bottom of the market when they'd already dropped 50, 60%. He's like, this is actually the list. So I've taken some stuff out of here, but really like the bars information, the loan number, unpaid principal balance, $161,000. Now this is a condo in Miami Gardens. All right? Sorry, it's not a $500,000 condo like here. All right? Current balance, $161, accrued interest, rate, non-accrual date, maturity date. Days past due, 425. 698, 698, 637, 394, 455, 606, 698. Are they a little behind? Bars are just a little behind. Look at this. The market value, literally the bank gave me their market value and was willing to share the BPOs. So this first was market value 2010, value was 35. This is a couple years ago, 4/11, 2011. It was right there in May, 50 grand. They said we'll take 70% of the dollar for that. Now what's 70% of 35,000? How much did you say? About 21,000. That's okay. That's okay. That rents for $1,500 a month. Pretty nice return, right? Somebody's calculating the return back there. All right. That's basically, let's just say it's about 50. You're making 15, 16 grand in rental income gross, and you're paying 24 grand for it. It's about a 75% gross return. Not bad, huh? Okay, great. 2 people like that. Great. We'll talk later. But that's what the bank considers a junk loan. They owe 160 on it. It's only worth 35 to them. Crap. It costs them the same amount to foreclose. It costs them 2 to 3 times what it costs you and me to go in and rehab a property. All right? Okay? The next ones, you got 4 little condos, little fourplex there. They all owe anywhere from 109 to 107 here. 50 grand each. They'll take 35. They literally sell them for 30 each for me. Rents for $1,200 a month each one. Okay? Get to cherry pick this whole thing off. Capital One, when I got their first list, was 39 pages of 6-point font. And they're like, buy anything. Buy one. Little kind of buy a like, listen, just buy one first and then we'll go from there. This happens all the time. You laugh, but this is really the market that we're in today, everybody. Okay? So what does junk look like? There's the property in Miami Gardens that I picked up. And I didn't pay 24 grand, I actually paid 17 grand for that one. Okay? I picked up two condos on notes, and this is the David Williams Hotel in Coral Gables, Florida, near Miami. 12th floor, 2nd floor. REOs right now are selling for 70 to 80 grand. We picked up both notes, and they're for one for 14, the other one for 21,000. Okay? Borrowers did deed and loans within 30 days to me. Friendly foreclosures and walked away. Okay? This property in Daytona Beach, we picked this up in. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. The guy owed 110. It was worth 80. We picked it up for 24. All right? South Carolina's got a little bit of a longer foreclosure process, so we get a bigger discount. Okay? This property in Austin, Texas. Like I said, Austin does everything fast. 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a 3-car garage. The family owed 200 grand on it. It was only worth about 120 as it sat. We picked up the note for 80. Okay? When we went into it, it was actually listed for short sale. We walked into it. When we closed on it, we went in and did friendly foreclosure with the family. These 3 bays were completely full of stuff. We had a 2001 Chevy Suburban sitting in one of them. It was completely paid off. And then the second bay was full of antiques. We went and turned around and did a little bit of rehab on it, about 10 grand worth of rehab, and sold it for 150. How much were we into it for? 80. Yes, sir.
Do you have to pay for these full, like, in cash or no?
You got to pay cash. You can't go out into the bank and get you a loan to buy a note. You got to pay cash. But like I love about Andrew, we talk about, Tim, there's a lot of private money out there. There's a lot of private money in the room. All right, investment clubs like Pitbull Mortgage Conference is a great place to find money. So, Equity Trust Company has an annual. I'm maybe giving away a little bit of Andrew's thunder, but anyway, that's where I raise money. Okay, well that's what junk looks like. All right, junk to the banks. Is this exciting? How many of you guys are tired of swinging a hammer? All right, I know Stacy's back there. Okay, so let's talk about a recent tape we cherry picked. Oh yeah, okay. I have a mastermind gets together about once a quarter, once every 3 to 4 months in Austin. And we had a hedge fund that I work with send us 385 assets that we could pick up at 16 to 18% of UPB. Now, when banks are selling their notes, they look at what's owed. And UPB stands for unpaid principal balance. Okay? So they're looking at what's owed to them. Does that make sense? That 16 to 18% of UPB equated to 21 to 50% of fair market value. Remember like those discounts?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's 25 students making offers. We did actually a little note draft where they had to draw numbers and they had to go through and cherry pick their assets. We had group bulk discount, obviously. We just got approval on a lot of stuff. I'll give you some of the markets there. Miami, Charlotte, Norfolk, Virginia, Chicago, etc. Basically, those are about 50 of the assets right there. Gives you an idea where it's all at. All right? Decent markets. Okay? Some are ugly properties, but those are the ones we're getting even cheaper. All right? What's in rehab? If somebody here picking up an asset up at 21 cents of current market value, could you sell it tomorrow to somebody at 30? Yeah. Very much so. All right?